Guys, welcome back. We're on part 5, Busted Station. Look at this damn thing, man. I tell you what, when I started this series, I didn't think that this was going to be, you know, um, not this kind of broken. And what I mean by that is really starting to get this build rolling, being able to start just, you know, getting our capital production on a 7 point moon is just it just takes on a mind of its own. And what I mean by that is uh when you start realizing, when you start getting your two, three, four, five stacks of capitals, and it only takes like you can run the numbers how many you're going to get a day, 8 point whatever it is, 8 minutes, 9 minutes in 24 hours. You can run those numbers and just see how broken, as long as you can keep them fed. Just kind of how, um, and I haven't dived into these builds that are available to you within the game. Going everybody always needs to be making carriers or dreadnoughts, but you that in itself is its own thing. When you're thinking about your build, these are the uh, you're building the rest of your stations. So a Gatos build, a Sabotage build, a Bomber build, a some kind of hybrid of being able to do everything. So sometimes, just your carriers are taking care of most of your metal, but you're be floating maybe a lot of crystal or a lot of gas, and going like scouts, frigates, or recons, patrols. You guys need to look. Patrols, dreads, and frigates are your crystal heavy ships. So if you're making carriers, to the way to balance your build, if you don't want to just continue aggressively settling on metal, because you're like we showed, 30,000 metal is pretty expensive. If you're trying to do a Gatos build, that's uh, Corvettes, you're going to be using so much metal. You always feel like you're behind. So you want to balance. You want to find a build that you can kind of balance your resources, and you don't want to be aggressively just always cutting yourself off of 50% of your resources because you're always exchanging. You don't want to always feel like you have to be exchanging. Maybe in the later stages of the game you will be, but you don't want to feel like you're doing that right now. So I wanted that now that we got that kind of taken care of, with builds, using gas realistically, using crystal realistically by making HSAs that are on frigates, or every single one of your other stations that doesn't have a CSA or HSA. You're just making scouts out of them. That's what you need to be doing, because you're going to be, now that we're off and running missions, and you can start getting a decent amount of cards every single time that you go to queue. You're going to be queuing 24 hours of everything, 24 hours of scouts as soon as you've got the level 10 docking bays online. And so I know we kind of went off the rails there a little bit, but this is the build. This is what we've been working on. So I ended up getting my fifth down. I ended up getting a station out here before I even landed. I put a couple of probes down just to make sure I didn't see anything in the air already heading to this location. So you can kind of look in the air. Industrials don't have that high of scan or stealth. Um, so if you scout this and you see a station already flying into the spot that you want to take, you probably don't want to go there. You're going to be overlapping with somebody else. Like easy, I could have, if I saw something flying in here already, I could have just put a scanned on these other two spots, and or maybe just not gone here and found a different spot to settle my ice. Because getting into a claymore, or aggressively forwarding somebody, is just like what you do in Civ. If you throw down a station 4 hexes, 5 hexes from somebody else's, that's pretty much a declaration of war, if you haven't talked to them already. So we got the fifth down. It's off and running. throw a missile battery there, just so people have to think about if they actually want to attack into you. And then so we've been kind of feeding it a little bit rough, and got our queues are all full. But I wanted to go over this now that we have started running. Like I invested, so um, we are starting to do level 4 and level 5 missions, and this is the bread and butter, guys. This is um, I turned around, I broke down some of my cards, and this is a brand new, fresh account. I'm not doing anything special on my main account. This is pretty much my third account, and what I mean by that is when you go up to your uh, inventory, you go to my blueprints. I don't have any blueprints. Okay, I'm paying like full price for all of my cards. So until I can start playing this guy on multiple servers and start developing some of my blueprints, I'm paying full price for the cards that I really need. So I ended up making a Guam. I always do this. If somehow there's only been like one server where I got really lucky and I was able to get one of these for free. Like when there's certain like run sabotage 15 times unlocks like a silver or gold mission card. Making your capital ship assembly level 4 and level 5 gives a silver and a gold mission card or mission cash. You might get lucky by getting this card, but I end up most of the time I just end up crafting it. And the situation when I craft them is when I'm able to start getting enough scouts to start running level 4 missions, and also having enough ships to also run level 5 missions. Look at this thing. Look how close this is. I've already run two level 5 missions. So I've got one, I'm hitting 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Look at that. 7 to, I had 10 level 5 assault or raid missions here. And we can actually open this up real quick. We'll do this, hopefully do it live. We have a gold, we have a silver, and we have another gold and silver. So open these up right now. This is what you guys are trying to get to, is being able to start getting these gold and silver caches. And the reason you pop the Guam is to do these faster. You get more escorts. You're using less ships. You're able to run level 3 missions with one fleet because of Guam and an escort, as long as like you're using like a full stack of frigates, a full stack of um, destroyers. It's really easy to start running. Look, I mean, this is just insane. If you've got the day off, rocket, like we're this is the, if you're not actively at war and you're not having to worry about um, defending something or attacking something, like if you're in this somehow a situation where you're in moments of peace, and or you're playing solo and you just want some cards, you need to go up here, and these are the cards that you want. So you can unlock, you can look at all the first 3 slots up here are permanent cards. The first 3 slots on your fleet cards are permanent cards, but if you just filter this on legendary and you do the other 4 slots that are hourly cards, these are the ones that you're trying to get. So you can look at this. The director of colonization is not one of them, but because that's the one you get from that. But all these other ones are ones that you can get from running missions. So you can see, besides these 2 and this one, these are what you're going to start getting by doing level 5 missions and level 4 missions. And this build that I'm actively doing, and which I do on most servers I play solo, if I'm able to get to this point, is scouts, frigates, and carriers. And so the scouts allow me to sabotage the frigates, or just allow me to dump crystal into something, and then carriers are my metal. So it's good to have a balanced ship build and a balanced economy to try to utilize all. If you can utilize your resources by not having to do ratios, like having to do a 2-to-1 burn down, that's really really good. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. And then, like I said, we're running. I mean, you pop this this Guam, okay, and then you can really just start. Like this is getting spicy out here of just um, how many cards, how many level 5 missions. This is what you need to be getting yourselves into. Just running 1 or 2 days of level 4 and level 5 missions. You'll pretty much I've always told all my guys, you want at least 6 to 7 copies of all the gold cards, and then what that also translates into is I usually want about 30 empower cards. And what I mean by that is your empower is for late game. You want these cards for your dome stations when you're trying to overclock your labor stations, just so you can fleet up ships, or if something happens at the fob or a defensive position or your alliance station, you can pop and unlock your ships. Like if you've used all of your labor at a station that has 20,000 labor, and then somebody accidentally puts 3 or 4 fleets over 40 or whatever position you're trying to defend at or stack at, these empower cards allow you to unlock your fleets by still utilizing the ships themselves. And you know uh actually, I'll do this. I'll just show right now. So we've got it. We've got this station right here on ice. Pretend this had 20,000. If I popped in empower, it's gonna bump up my labor at this location by 25%. So another 20, another 5,000 uh, labor is just on top of being able to pop a what the heck was it, a Xeno or Zeno, is just like the combo. So you got Zeno on here, it's an extra 400 labor, and then Empower gives you another 5,000, 4,000, 3,000 labor. You might need that just to be able to feed from that station that you need all your buffs from. So most of the time when you're building labor, you're going to be building ship buffs with your labor. So you're going to eventually get War Council, which buffs all your capital ships. You're going to be making Navy academies to buff all your heavies or your heavy frigates and your destroyers. Or you're going to be maybe a Gatos build and you get your cadet schools up online. So these locations, when you go heavy labor, need all your ship buffs on them. So you're going to be feeding from those stations, and then eventually, when you really get this thing set up, getting Magna on here, Magna, your ship buffs, and then wherever you're fighting from, you're going to be using your Moomy cards. So wherever you're fighting from, you're going to be popping Moomy for operating fleets for firepower and HP. Those are huge combos for fighting. And when you start figuring that stuff out with running missions, getting those cards, getting your labor set up, and then the stations that you're fighting from, if you're not fighting from a fob or the alliance station, those are huge buffs. So anyways, I've once again throwing a lot of information on you or at you for what you do with your labor and how you start fighting. Um, Running missions is a vital part of getting your cards for free by just using your ships and your labor in moments of peace. So, all right, guys, till next time, we'll keep the series going. Like, get a hold of me either through DMs or through comments. And if you guys have anything you want me to add to these, like I said, I'll just go off real quick. The plan is I know I need to build another HSA here, so hopefully by the time I get my 11 infrastructure points, we can make a troop carrier, and then I can show you guys how to capture a station. So by clearing this slave camp, and then hopefully here soon I'll get a Stargate here. Stargate, assault card. We've already got the let's go to capture. I think we got 2 strike teams already. So you pop these strike teams on your troop carrier, and instead of capturing strength as 20, you get capture strength as 60. And in 4 or 5 runs, you can capture this. So I'll explain that more when we get to that point. I need to finally build my HSA here and start getting Mick up on this station. I can queue it up right now. Maybe queue a couple of them, and we'll start getting that up. We'll get it 5 point or a level 5 HSA, level 10 Mick here, and make a troop carrier in about 10 hours, 12 hours. So maybe tomorrow, not tomorrow, maybe in 2 days, we'll be able to capture something. So, anyways, guys, till next time, you guys, see you soon. Later.